What is up guys, Joe here, welcome back to my channel, and today we have another episode of my Trek-Segafredo career on PCM 2019. And first we have Omloop Het Nieuwsblad, the start of the Cobbled Classic season. Really excited for this race, let's jump straight into it. So Omloop Het Nieuwsblad taking place in Ghent, Belgium of course. The beginning of the Cobbled Classic season, some pretty tough cobbles in this race. So let's take a look at our team taking part in this race. So we go into the race with two joint leaders, Jasper Stuyven and Mads Pedersen. Also joining the team is Edvard Toons, Ryan Mullen, Alex Kirsch, Beppu and Alex Frame. But really hoping Stuyven and Pedersen can really challenge for the win in this race. So here we go guys, Omloop gets underway, really excited to start the Cobbled Classics as I mentioned. I'm going to put all our guys towards the front. I'm actually going to try and join the breakaway with Alex Kirsch today as the tier attacks for Jumbo Visma. Let's just relay on 75 or something, let some other guys join us up the road. He can help out our leaders later in the race. So as Alex Kirsch and Atia are working together up the road, let's take a look at some of the other teams. You can see Laporte is here. He's dangerous, very dangerous actually. We have Van Gestel, this fella, Suterlin, Moscon will lead Ineos. And there's not really any real danger men, to be honest. I think we're definitely the favourites for this race. When you look at Quickstep, you think they will dominate these types of races. Tim de Klerk is actually leading them. That is actually crazy. I mean, what is this team? I can't believe they haven't got any stronger riders here. Obviously, I think Stibar won this race in real life, as now there's 12 riders in the breakaway. We have Bennett, Masbonne, Grosschartner, Tamanu, Arme, Scottson, Eriksson, Van Emden, De Tia, Ezquerra, Kirsch and Logan Owen. So it would seem the peloton weren't happy with Kirsch up the road. We're trying to attack again with Van Hoek, Puccio and Kirsch, but it really seems like the peloton aren't happy with Kirsch up the road. Let's try one last gasp attack, big attack from Kirsch. Let's try and maintain this gap. But as you can see, the peloton work really hard to try and bring him in. So sadly, Kirsch wasn't allowed up the road. We instead have 6 riders, Puccio, Bennett, Arme, Scottson, Geschke and Palucci. Not the strongest breakaway. I don't think they have any chance of challenging for the win. Let's focus on the peloton and our guys. And I've just noticed 30 km/h wins. We can really make a difference with those wins later in the race. So guys, a very quick race update. We have 90k to go. Still everyone from our team is comfortably in the peloton. We've had a few more attacks. Schillinger and Seri have been brought in, but we have Nielands, De Heijs, Van Emden, Tony Martin, a very strong rider to be in the break. We have Scottson, Maurice, Bennett, Ruelands. You can see all the riders. Simon Clark is up the road. That's a very dangerous rider. Tim de Klerk as well. This guy has joined Puccio from Ineos as well. So the breakaway now looking very dangerous indeed. We're going to have to try and bring them in pretty soon. So guys, 74k to go. You can see we've got Frame and Beppu now doing some pretty big work on the front. The breakaway up the road has come apart slightly. There's now 18 riders up the road actually. Seri trying to join them. He's going to use a lot of energy doing that though. We are approaching these very steep, quick, short hills, a few with cobbles as well, and then into this big cobbled section. So I really want to up the pace now. As you can see, I am doing. Toons and Stuyven with Pedersen can all stay towards the front whilst we bring the breakaway in. So Beppu doing a really good job for the team. Try and protect Toons now for as long as you can. Frame can now do some work on maybe 85 we can go down to now. Make sure all our leaders are staying right towards the front as we are doing. The breakaway now just have 130. Really doing a good job over that first hill. So Mullen doing a really good job as you can see on these hills. He's relaying. He can now go down to 80 and you can see this group has really been thinned out now. A few of the guys getting caught behind. Just a group of 22 here. There's gaps all over the place, all because of Ryan Mullen's good work up the roads. At the front, we still have 11 men who have almost 2 minutes, so Mullen needs to continue on here. Just 26 riders now in the peloton. So here we go, on to the next cobbled section. It's a 4-star cobbled section. We're not going to attack, we're just going to set a really fast pace with Pedersen. Let's go on 90. Make sure we stay right towards the front, try and push it. Maybe we can drop a few of the weaker guys in this group. Pedersen doing a really good job to really limit the numbers in this group. Just 8 riders here now, and now Pedersen can try and attack. Toons and Stuyven could just follow Van Gestel, who's trying to follow Pedersen. Pedersen doing a really good job. 53 seconds up to the breakaway. Toons and Stuyven need to follow attacks now. So I did try an attack by Mads Pedersen, but sadly wasn't quite strong enough. I think we're just going to set a pace with him on 80. I do want to make sure we bring Toons to the end because he's on a +1 day. He is our best sprinter, slightly better than Stuyven and Pedersen. So if we can get him to the end, that would be perfect. Up this short hill, another 4-star section. We're going to really push the pace again with Pedersen. Try and bring in this group up front. Still, all 11 riders are doing really well in that front group. We're limiting the numbers just to 14 in the peloton now. Pedersen is almost done, and then we'll be stuck with just Toons and Stuyven for the final 35k. So Mads Pedersen is now done for the day, sadly, but we are coming into this next cobbled section. Let's go up to 95 with Toons, try and drop a few more riders perhaps. In fact, let's just attack with Stuyven. Jasper Stuyven on the attack. So Stuyven on the attack. Toons can follow Kaiser, who is trying to follow, but no one can follow Jasper Stuyven, it would seem. He's making his way right up to this front group. Stuyven is now in the breakaway. Toons can just sit back in this group for now, while Stuyven is in the front group. So it would seem that attack by Stuyven was really strong. We have just 19 riders in this front group. I do want to try something coming up with him. So let's try and move Toons towards the front. 22 riders now in the peloton. I think no one else will make it back now. There's a few more guys dropping away. Stuyven looking so strong today. So let's move Toons back up to help him and try and make some gaps. So we've got attacks in the front group. We've got De Vries, De Boist and Daniel Oss on the attack. Just 14 riders now in the peloton and a lot of guys looking really tired. We're going to try and conserve Stuyven's energy because we're going on the attack on this final cobbled sector. Okay guys, 25k to go. We're now coming into this final cobbled sector, or final real major one. Jasper Stuyven on the attack. Can anyone stay with him? Here we go. Stuyven attacking. This fella, the only one who can follow him. De Vries, no one else can follow. And look at that. What an attack by Jasper Stuyven. And it seems the Lithuanian cannot stay with Jasper Stuyven. 21k to go. We're now very tired, but we're out alone at the front of the race. There is this group of 5 or 4 riders just behind. Stuyven looking pretty tired. We do have a gap though. Roylands, Maurice and De Vries are trying to come back. Oss is done, Martin is done, and Edward Toons is sitting back with these guys. So I've got a bit of a dilemma now guys. 18k to go. This group can work together and conserve some energy. While Stuyven is all alone out front, he has just 25 seconds on this group. But then there's 25 seconds back to this group behind. So I don't know whether to stay out front. I think we will, seeing as we have Toons in this group. He can try and stay with all the attacks as he's trying to do right now. This group is about to become 12, I believe. Yes, it is. And Stuyven is using a lot of energy out front. He does have 33 seconds, but now 12 riders behind. So 12k to go. It does look like Jasper Stuyven is going to be caught in this group. Let's wait up now. There's no point in riding now. We have 2 riders in this group. Stuyven can just wait up. He's just going to wait for this group. Here we go. Conserve some energy. We now have 2 riders in this group of 13 at the front. The winner will come from this group. Okay guys, we have under 10k to go now, and as you can see, I think we have the 2 best sprinters in this group, so it's in our interest to just kind of hold off this group behind of 7 if we can, with Laporte in that group, of course, a very good sprinter, and hopefully try and control things as there is an attack by De Vries. Let's up the pace now with Stuyven, up to 80. We're going to have to go to try and take Edward Toons, who's now our leader, to the end in the front group. Look at this. Let's just follow some of these guys with Stuyven. De Vries is now done. We are coming into the final 5k of the race, and what a race it has been. It looks like that group of 7 will not make it back now. Over a minute back to them. Stuyven's looking pretty tired. Let's just go 55. Actually up it to 70 across this short cobbled sector. We have just 4k to go. Let's rest up now with Stuyven. Try and lead out Toons. Into the final few k we go. 3k to go. Stuyven can now up the pace to 80, 85. Toons is looking like the favourite to me. I think Edward Toons can take the win, but Stuyven, have we gone very slightly early? I think we have. We're going to have to go on our own with Edvard Thun's now. Here we go, up to 85, 88, 89, 90, into the final kilometres. Edvard Thun sprinting for victory in Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. Can we hold off our competitors? Yes, we can. Edvard Thun celebrates. We get the win ahead of De Boist. Devrient in second actually, De Boist third, Os and Rusin in the top 5. So Edvard Thun is the winner of Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. What a way to start the episode. So a great team victory for us today. Stuyven went in as the main leader. Pederson really gave himself up for the team, finishing 5 minutes down. But Edvard Thun was clearly the best sprinter in the end, beating Devrient and De Boist on the podium. So guys, we have arrived at Kuurne, Brussels-Kuurne. Not quite as many cobbled sectors today, which means it could suit the sprinters slightly more than the cobbled specialists. Also, you can see on the favourites list, we have a much stronger start list. We have Sagan, Mike Turnesson's here. We also have Laporte, Viviani, Groenewegen. So it will be a lot tougher for us today than it was in Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. Let's see what we can do. Let's get into the race. So guys, the race does get underway. I don't think we're going to try and join the breakaway. It did seem pointless last time, so we're not going to try. We're going to focus our efforts on supporting Thun's, Pedersen and Jasper Stuyven. As you can see, it's a much stronger start list today. The likes of Jakobsen and Viviani here for Quick Step. You can see the rest of the guys. This is going to be a tough race. So we're just coming on to the first lightly cobbled section of the day. Just a one-man breakaway, as you can see, and 4 minutes back to the peloton already. So guys, the pace just hasn't been very high today, and as we are starting to come into the few hills and cobble sections in the middle section of the race, I've put 3 riders on the front. We've got Mullen, Beppu and Frame. They're going to set a pretty hard pace. Let's go up to 85 with all of these guys and try and weaken some of the sprinters that struggle more at climbing, like Groenewegen and Jakobsen. So we have arrived on the Kruiberg. It's a 3-star cobble section, very short. But you can see we're setting a pretty hard pace with our guys. Stuyven is on the front. I'm expecting the field to be weakened here over this cobbled section. So as you can see, 41 riders have actually been caught behind. Even Thomas de Gent is behind. Our guy's doing a really good job on the front, and Beppu is now done for the day. He can just rest up. We'll go with Frame now on 90. Let's use his energy gel. Mullen will be after him. And our 4 guys who are resting in the peloton are looking very good, to be honest. So Frame is still on the front of the peloton. I think he is basically done though. It's Ryan Mullen's turn. He's going to set a really hard pace over the Oude de Quarmont, which we're just coming up to. We still have just this one-man breakaway, but as you can see, it's just 40 seconds. Let's move our guys to the very, very front. As you can see, Vergaard is about to be caught. Just 95 riders in the peloton. So you can see over the Oude de Quarmont, there is plenty of splits taking place all over the road. Pedersen has been dropped very slightly. I do want to keep him up here, so let's go on 90, take position with him. You can see Kirsch is on the front on 85. Just 28 riders now in the peloton. Everyone else has been dropped. Oh my word, that has destroyed the race. So we have Alex Kirsch working on the front. We still have 3 leaders in the group in Thun's, Stuyven and Mads Pedersen looking in a really good position. Somehow Groenewegen is here, Merlier, Viviani, Laporte, there's also Sagan. So this race is far from won, but we have really whittled away at the other team's domestiques. So guys, you can see Kirsch is now pretty much done for the day. Stuyven and Toynes need to stay right towards the front now because I am going to try something with Pedersen. I don't really want to pull the whole field along. You can see some guys in this group are suffering. So let's rest up with Kirsch. He's done for the day. Pedersen is going to try a sneaky attack with over 50k to go. Here we are. We're coming onto the cobble section. It's not a very tough cobble section, but let's go on the attack with Mads Pedersen, try and whittle away at this field. These guys need to stay right towards the front if they can, but a big attack by Mads Pedersen. It doesn't seem like he's been able to gap these guys, and sadly he hasn't, and still 25 riders in this group. So you can see guys, the pace in this front group has now really slowed. The gap to the second group on the road is just over a minute and it's coming down pretty quickly. I mean, I don't really want to use Pedersen as a domestique, he's too good for that. But Stuyven and Thun's are just slightly stronger in different ways. So I think Pedersen is going to have to go to domestique duty yet again, unless maybe we can try an attack with Stuyven on this climb. To be honest, we're just going to use Pedersen as a domestique, try and whittle away at this group a bit before trying some attacks with Stuyven. So here we go, guys. We're just coming into this final cobbled section of the race. As you can see, Jasper Stuyven is going to have to try something here because the second group on the road are coming and I don't really want them to come back. Right, here we go. Let's try an attack with Jasper Stuyven, try and get away from the rest of this group. And he has done a decent job, actually, of getting a little gap up. Let's put these guys on like 95. Stuyven has a gap about 20 seconds at the front of the race. Toons need to try and stay here now. As you see, a few guys from that other group have made it back in. But Toynes can just sit here. Pedersen can try and protect him if he can, whilst the rest have to work to bring back Stuyven. So sadly for Stuyven, he's not even going to make it close to the end. 24 riders in this group, and it seems we're not able to gap any of them. Let's just sit in this group with Toynes and Stuyven, follow any attacks if they come. So guys, we have 15k to go in the race as we cross the finish line for the final time before it is the actual finish line. I do really want to try something, and here we go. Now is our chance. Petit is on the attack following Devrient. We need to follow this with Stuyven, and Toons can just sit here. Oh my word, I think that is the race winning move right there. We have 8 riders up the road. Sagan's here, Tunisson's here, Petit, Devrient. Toynes can just sit here now. He can just sit here on automatic in this group because these guys need to bring the other guys back in. Maybe we can try something with Stuyven. I'm thinking about it because this group is slowly getting brought in. Maybe we can follow Sagan. We need to try and follow Peter Sagan. He's obviously the strongest man in this group. As a few guys are trying to make it back across, 9 guys in this group, and it seems to have been brought back in. Let's follow Civicus. Let's follow Sagan. More attacks are taking place here. 7k to go. Toons looks like he's going to get caught behind, sadly, as it looks like this group of 8 has gone off the front yet again. So 6k to go. Toons cannot work. It seems some sprinters have been dropped. Viviani, Merlier, Groenewegen have all been dropped. We're all in for Jasper Stuyven at the moment. We'll happily work in this group as Devrient is attacking. We need to try and follow every attack. Let's follow Petit. Sagan is here. He's our main danger. So is Tunison. They're very good riders indeed. Just 3k to go now with Stuyven. Let's pace on like 85. We'll happily pace in this group. 2.5k to go. It will come from this group of 8. Under 2k to go now in Kuurne, Brussels-Kuurne. Let's lead everyone out with Stuyven. Let's up the pace slowly. 99. Let's go for the sprint now. Petit sprinting. Sagan's coming through. Can we challenge for the win? I think it will be Sagan, or will it be Tunison? Tunison takes it ahead of Sagan. Stuyven gets 3rd. A decent result for us. And Toons will get a decent place from the group behind. So Mike Tunison wins the race an inch ahead of Peter Sagan, if that. Jasper Stuyven with a really good podium here. So I think we can be pretty happy with that result. Tunison and Sagan are probably slightly better sprinters than Stuyven, as you can see by the attributes. We did well to get into this group of 8. There were plenty of attacks at the end. It's a shame Edvard Toons couldn't get in this group. Maybe he would have had a slightly better chance. But I was happy to join this group with Stuyven and leave Toons behind, considering Merlier, Groenewegen, Viviani, Laporte, they were all left behind as well. So yeah, pretty good race for us here. So we've now arrived at the final race of this episode, and it is Strade Bianche. So let's take a look at our team. So leading our squad in this race is Bauke Mollema, looking for his first win of the season. His main helpers this race are Nicola Conchi, Fabio Felina and Tom Scoynes. We also have Beppu, Irizar and Machete, who will be other domestiques as well. I may try a breakaway or something with Scoynes, but basically our whole plan is based around Mollema. And so looking at the favourites for the race, we have Sagan, Van der Poel and Valverde as the big 3. Then we have Van Marke, Toons, Lutsenko, Schachmann. No Mollema on this list either. And it's not quite as strong a start list as I anticipated. No Alaphilippe, but Sagan, Van der Poel and Valverde are of course very, very strong. So the race gets underway, guys. You can see we already have a few attacks, guys, trying to join the breakaway. Some pretty strong riders here, actually. Esteban Chavez up the road already. You can see by the start list all the riders in the race: Formulo, Higuita, Uran, are some of the guys that weren't mentioned in that favourites list. You can see all the guys there. So I'll see you later in the race. So as the breakaway are nearing the first gravelled section of the race, you can see we have 19 men in the breakaway. We have Peak, Chavez, Van Rensburg, Charel, Battaglin, Barbin, Bresciani, Nick Schultz. We have Swift, Acosta, Arashiro, Gavazzi, Diego Rosa, Hiver, Velasco, that's Jesus Herrada, Earl, Vicho and Ferrari. 19 men, and it doesn't seem like the peloton are happy to let this group go. So as we come over this climb, the breakaway has been caught. As you can see, I expect another one to form. So the new breakaway of the race has formed, just 4 riders. We have Barnabas Peak, Rosa, Charel and Bresciani. 3 minutes back to the peloton. So the pace is just too slow for me on this cobbled section. We do have a while to come into these big, kind of short but steep hills. But I've put Irizar and Beppu on the front, trying up the pace for Mollema. So we're soon coming into these really short but steep hills. There are quite a few attacks going off at the moment. Postelberger, Visconti, Sprengers, Pichot, Marcato, Sparagli, still the 4 men up front. I have about 2 minutes on the peloton. Beppu and Irizar doing a really good job controlling things though, as there are more attacks now. So Matteo Moschetti has fallen, so has Lutsenko and Vermeesh from Corendon. That's a big miss for them. Does Moschetti carry on? It looks like Matteo Moschetti is going to have to withdraw, and that is a real shame. Hopefully he's not too badly injured. Lutsenko, obviously a big fool for Astana. He'll want to get back in, of course. He's one of the favourites for the race. Conchi seems to have lost Mollema's wheel. We'll bring Irizar back for now. Conchi, try and make your way back up to the front. 150 men in this group. Beppu still on the front of the peloton. So our team have been completely destroyed. Beppu, Irizar and Conchi are all done now for the day. We'll put them on automatic. Just 41 riders in the peloton now. It has been completely destroyed and we can't do any of the pulling. We might do some more on these next gravel hills. So as we crest that hill, we have 55 riders still in the peloton. That is too much for my liking. You can see many of them are pretty much dead though. I've sent Fabio Follin to the front. He can pace on. We'll go 78 for now. Mollema, get right behind him, mate. We're going to pace pretty hard over these next few hills. Try and really whittle away at this 55-man group. Still 2 minutes up to the breakaway. So you can see the damage Fabio Follin is doing in this group. Many riders dropping away already. Down to 46. Formulo, Bargui, they're all done. Nieves done as well, it would seem. Follin doing a really good job. Let's push it to 85 momentarily. Try and really reduce this group over the top of this climb. Down to 80 again. More hills coming up as you would expect. So we're coming into the final 25k very soon. 33 riders are all that's left in this group. This group trying to come back in, and it looks like they will, to make it a group of 49 riders now. Follin is almost done, but we still have Scoins. I'm going to pace pretty hard with him as well, I think, once Follin is done. Some short hills coming up again, although Staunov seems very happy to work pretty hard for Astana. I don't know if Lutsenko's made it back in. Let's check. And yes, Lutsenko is back in the front group. So 20k to go. I think it's really time to up this now. There's still 45 riders in this group. Scoins is going to really step on the pedals. We'll go up to maybe 80, 85 with him, I think, up this climb. Let's try and lead the peloton on. Let's go up to 90. Let's really try and drop some riders here. Down to 85, I think, for now. On this cobbled section, you can see there's quite a few short, steep hills in a row now. Let's really try and lay a pace down with Scoins, and it seems we've dropped some guys. This is what we were looking for, really trying to press the pace. Pozzovivo trying to come back in, so's Van Marker and Sagan, but Mollema is off the front for now. So, as you would expect, a few guys have been brought in, and it seems there's attacks right now. Mollema's going to have to try and follow some of these. Let's try and stick on Tom Scoins' wheel, though, for now. That's a good wheel to follow. And it seems Maurice's attack isn't strong enough to drop anyone. 18 riders in this group still, but there's still 5 riders out front. What a ride by them. Let's up the pace now with Scoins up to maybe 92. Seems Sagan's on the attack. We're going to have to try and go 99 with Scoins. We want to keep Scoins here, but at the same time, We don't want Sagan to get away, and that's a good job for now. 14 riders are all that's left in this group. More guys. Dylan Toon's dropping away, a very strong rider there. Let's go down to 85 with Scoins again. There is that short hill coming up. I'm not sure whether to wait for the line or go for it on that hill. I think we're going to try an attack with Mollema. As you can see, there's still a few riders up the road. Nelson Oliveira, Sprengers and Postelberger. So I'm going to try and come into this climb pretty hot with Scoins. Let's go up to 95 because right now we're about to try something, I think. Let's go. Bauke Mollema on the attack. Scoins is done. He can rest for the rest of the day, I think. And Bauke Mollema on the attack, trying to get some separation. He's going to bridge up to Nelson Oliveira. And it seems Mohoric is trying to come with him as well. Here we go. We go past Nelson Oliveira. Mohoric is coming as well. And we've got a big gap, actually. Scoins go on automatic. You can try and stay there if you can. But Mollema and Mohoric are clear with Oliveira. 45 seconds on this group. What an attack with just 5k to go. So 3k to go. It looks like that will be the race winning attack. 2.5k. We're going to have to try and lead them out, I think. Is Mohoric going to go? Let's follow his wheel. I think the winner will come from this group. Let's stick on Matej Mohoric's wheel. He's going to drag us into the final kilometre. Do we have the punch to come past him? He goes for the line. Does Oliveira have enough? Now we can go with Mollema. Oliveira's dropped. We tried to come past Mohoric. And Bauke Mollema, 300 metres, 200 metres. Can we hold him off? Yes, we can. In Siena, Bauke Mollema with his first win of the season. What a win it is, ahead of Mohoric. Oliveira will come third in the breakaway. And next up from that peloton, we have Sagan, Marisa and Lutsenko. So Bauke Mollema gets his first win of the season, beating Mohoric in a sprint. And that big attack with about 8k to go dropped the rest of the peloton. What a move from Mollema. So I think that is a great race to end the episode on. Mollema beating Mohoric in the sprint. He did really well to follow Mollema. Mollema too strong in the end though. Oliveira was dropped on the final climb. Sagan over a minute down. Marisa, Lutsenko, Van der Poel, they'll all be upset. They weren't able to compete for the win. So sadly guys, Matteo Moschetti does tear his patella tendon, which is going to keep him out for a long time. I think this diagnosis of the end of April is very optimistic. I think he's going to miss a few months, sadly. And some more bad news, I'm afraid. Fabio Follina has knee tendonitis. We're going to have to rest him for at least a few weeks, probably about a month or two. So I think we can be very, very happy with our first few months of this career mode. We've done very well. Port still atop the World Tour standings. We have Pinot second. These two are well clear, obviously, with most of the races still to come. Mollema in 8th. We have Toons 10th and Moschetti in 11th, obviously now injured. If we go to Super Prestige, we have Port 5th, Mollema 9th. Thomas doing really well, it seems, with Bernal and Pinot. But you can see all the standings. We've got a lot of guys in that top 30. And when you go to the team, we are just beating Team Ineos. And these two teams comfortably ahead of everyone else. And so if you enjoyed this episode, guys, drop a like and a comment down below for me. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. And I'll see you in the next one, where we're going to play Paris-Nice and Tirreno Adriatico.